Good afternoon, students. Today we'll be discussing about the chapter measurement. Measurement is the basis of science. It plays a very important role in our life. Each and every time we are measuring something. Maybe it is the time, maybe it is the mass, maybe it is the temperature, maybe it is the length. Anything which we are measuring every time is the measurement. Let us see with an example. Suppose you are going to school at a particular time. So if I ask you what is the time do your school starts, so you will tell me a particular time. That means you are measuring the time. Or if I say at what time do you get up from the bed in the morning, you will tell me a time. That means you are measuring the time. Or if I say what is the distance between your house and the school, you will say suppose 5 kilometers. So 5 kilometers is also a measurement. You need to measure the distance. Suppose you are having a fever, the doctor tries to measure your temperature to know the exact body temperature of yours. That is also measurement. The doctor is trying to measure the temperature. Actually, we are measuring something each and every time. So, what is measurement? Measurement is the comparison of a quantity with a standard quantity. Suppose you went to a grocery shop and you asked him that, uncle, give me 1 kg of sugar. So obviously what will he do? He will try to measure the sugar in one pan and measure the sugar with another standard unit. You have seen the grocers to measure the weights in bazaar or in the grocery shops. So that is how we measure the quantities. So measurement is the comparison of any quantity with a standard quantity. So why there is a need for measurement? Suppose you go to a tailor shop and you ask him that to give you your measurement of shirt. So he will ask you the measurement of your shirt, and if you cannot tell him, he will use this kind of tape. This is called a measuring tape. He will use this kind of tape so that he can get the proper measurement. And if he stitches the shirt in a improper manner, it will not fit. So that measurement needs to be proper. That is why he will use such measuring tape to get an accurate measurement of your body, to stitch the clothes of yours. So this is why the need of measurement was there. Now what is the unit of measurement? In order to measure a quantity, we need to compare the quantity with a standard unit. Like if you want to measure, suppose your weight, so you will measure it in kilograms. You know, if I ask you your weight, you will say that suppose sir it is 40 kg. So that means this is your weight. So you need to compare this with a standard unit, otherwise we cannot find out our weight. So whenever we are measuring anything, we are actually measuring the physical quantity. Now, there was also a need to measure for a standard quantity. In ancient times, people used to measure length or mass using their hands. Suppose people used to measure lengths. How they used to measure? Suppose this is their hand. Suppose I am drawing my hand. Suppose this is the hand of a person. He tries to measure length using the length of its thumb to the last finger. He uses this length to measure an object. So this length was called the hand span. In ancient times, people named it as hand span to measure the length of any object. After that, people tried to measure a longer length using their forearm. Suppose this is the forearm of some person. Suppose this is their hand. From elbow till their finger end, this is the length, which is the forearm length. In short, people used to call it as cubit. So like this, people used to measure the length in ancient times. But one thing I wonder, that many people have many different measurement of their hand or their forearm length. So various peoples will have different hand span or different forearm length. That is why we couldn't get a proper measurement. In order to avoid this, scientists invented a standard unit, which is now the standard unit is now internationally maintained, and that is called the SI unit. This is called the SI unit. This SI unit stands for, this is the short form of the Système International des Units. This is the short form of a French word. This is the SI unit is the short form of this French word Système International des Units. So it is impossible for us to write it every time. So it is easier to remember the name as SI unit. So this is maintained all over the world as a standard unit. So now for measuring the length, we need some kind of SI unit. So let us learn about that. What is the SI unit of length? Suppose I am measuring the length of this board. I want to measure this. So what is the SI unit of length? For SI unit of length I have meter. And we know the symbol of meter is small m. Now suppose if I want to measure mass. What is the SI unit of mass? It is kilogram, and it is denoted as kg. So like this, the scientists have invented various kind of SI units for different physical quantities. Now for writing these quantities we need to look at something. Now here the meter starts with the letter M. The scientists thought that how to represent the symbols, how to represent the SI units in symbols. So they at first thought to give the first letter of the known unit. So suppose for meter it is M, but for kilogram it is not possible to give KI or LO like that. So they thought of giving the first letter as K, then the next letter as G to distinguish between the units. I hope you have understood till this part. So apart from this, we have also encountered some other units also, which is followed somewhere in the world. So let us know about those systems also. We have encountered as FPS system. What is the full form of FPS system? It is foot pound system. Next we have encountered as CGS system. What is the full form of CGS system? Centimeter, gram, second. One thing I missed out, need to write it here, second. Next we have also encountered MKS system. What does this stand for? Meter, kilogram, second. So these are also few systems which we still follow in our physics as well as mathematics. Now you can easily see from here that FPS, why it is stands for foot pound second, F for foot, pound for P, and S is for the seconds. Foot, F, pound, P, and S is for second. Similarly here, the C is coming for the centimeter, G is coming for the gram, and S is coming for the second. And the third one, M is for meter, K is for kilogram, and S is for second. Now, if you want to compare all the units in one chart, how will it look like? Let us see. Suppose I want to calculate the units of some physical quantities. Suppose I want to know the quantity of mass, then suppose for time, suppose for length. So these three are the physical quantities we are dealing right now. And we also want to know the units of this in various systems. So first we have learned SI unit, FPS unit, MKS, CGS. So these are the four different units we use. So let us see what are the units for these systems. For mass, the SI unit is kilogram. For time, it is second. And for length, it is meter. In FPS system, the mass is measured in pound. The short form of pound is LB, small l, small b. The time is measured in second. The short form is S. And the length is in foot. We denote it as FT. Next, for MKS, we denote the mass in kilogram, which is kg, we already know. Now we are dealing with the time, so it will be second. And for the length, we measure in meters. Last but not the least, the CGS. CGS is for the mass, it is gram. You know the symbol of gram, it is small g. Next, we are coming to the time. It is also second. And third is the length. Length is measured in centimeter. So this is how we distinguish between the units with the various physical quantities. I hope you have understood till this part. Thank you.